Johnson, to the co-workers in the vineyard as they sit with me here at the podium, to my wife. I so appreciate her. One thing that I asked her, and by the way, I am from Tennessee and I will get there. One thing I asked her last night, to be sure that her talk is not longer than my speech. And to all of the dignitaries and government officials and lay people and ministers of the gospel, to all of my father's children, good morning.
Good morning.
I shall keep you long, but I am humbled by the opportunity to stand at the podium, but I much prefer to be with you at a table number. So bear with me as we look to and share a word that God has given me.
All right, God.
I want to talk very briefly today about the person that we are celebrating, but some of the things that characterize his purpose, his vision, his views. But I want to talk about the dream that could not be sabotaged.
All right.
Dream that could not be sabotaged. History has demonstrated that people who unite and come together in a common cause are capable of even erecting a tower that stretches from earth even to the gates of heaven.
All right.
If the Bible that says and teaches us that there is strength in unity. It was the word of the psalmist said, behold, how good and how pleasant it is
All right.
for brethren to dwell together in unity. This unity is not driven by socioeconomic status or cultural indifferences or even one's ethnicity. But this unity is a strength that is driven by sharing and embracing a common view.
Say it.
And a mutual purpose.
Say it.
We are assembled here today. We are assembled here today as brothers and sisters to embrace and promote a common agenda and to call things that are not as though they were.
All right. All
We're
right.
here to look at and say that justice shall run down like a mighty stream.
All right.
We're here to embrace not only justice, but equality and equality for all.
Yes.
It was Dr. King that stated that injustice everywhere is an injustice of the threat to justice everywhere.
All right.
We stand here under the umbrella of justice, supported by the columns of freedom, supported by the columns of respect, the columns of brotherhood, the columns of purpose, and a creation, a constitution that proclaimed that all men are created equal and endowed by a creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Say it. Say it.
We have this umbrella of justice, which is supported by these columns and the Constitution of equality. But we have a foundation that was established and orchestrated by God.
Say it. Say it.
We are here today to celebrate a hand of God who inspired a man that had a dream that could not be sabotaged.
All right.
Don't be disheartened or dismayed by the works of those that would be dream crashers.
All right. All right.
Nor should you be intimidated by those that would attempt to distract you from your destiny.
Well.
We have a dream to fulfill, a day on and not a day off.
All right.
We must realize that each day that we face a different headwind designed to stall and compartmentalize your dream. We should consider the world that we live in, a world that is cluttered with twisted ideology, motivated by selfish desires, and culminated with thinkings that is sometimes warped.
Say it.
We
Say
must
it.
realize that We're in a day that we must have a day on and not a day off.
Wow.
We're in a world that wants to rewrite theology.
Say it. Say it.
We're in a world that wants to redefine family values and to sanctify marriage in a way that God did not even intend for it. We're in a world that thinking protecting our children is to remove prayer from the school and install metal detectors. We're in a world that's content with removal of the Christian flag and willing to endorse the placement of automatic weapons in our schools. We're in a world that's intimidated
Come on.
by biblical principles in the courtyard of state and federal buildings.
Say it. Say
We
it.
must realize that we must have a day on and not a day off. When I think about a world that's so committed to constructing more brick and mortar for penal reform than embracing an Affordable Health Care Act
Well,
that provides health care coverage for people that are lacking and are in a need, I am concerned about a world that's shifting in this kind of
come on,
thinking.
preacher. Come on, preacher.
I envision a rebellious headwind designed to sabotage a dream that cannot be
Say
compromised.
it. Say it. Say it.
We're in a world that legalizes the sale of marijuana
Well,
and willing to forego the welfare of people that's pouring and trying to dig their way out of poverty
all
or
right.
to hold on to
All
the
right.
middle class status. We must realize that we are in a day that we must be on and not off.
Well,
When I think about a country that's more concerned about protecting the right of those to bear assault weapons
Come on.
than to protect our children that want a leisure night out at the movies. I'm concerned about a world that's concerned more about these kind of things than a person that wants to go and worship at a watch night and because of untimely celebration, not make it home at night.
all right. All right.
Living in a world that children leave home and go to elementary school,
Yes, sir.
middle school, at a time that our greatest fear used to be that whether we could pass a history test or a science test, but their fear now is whether they will even make it home again.
Say it. Say it.
We can ill afford to put our dream on pause and accept status quo.
Come on, preacher.
As long as there is a glass ceiling, and there is a glass ceiling,
Say it.
as long as there's bias in our hiring and selection criteria, as long as there's superficial boundaries around charter school, we are in the world that needs to stand up.
Say it.
We must rekindle the dream, harness the unity, and stand together. The dream cannot stand. The dream cannot fall. The dream will not be sabotaged.
Say it, my brother.
Here to remind us that we have great things that have been accomplished. Remind us that the manifestation of the dream did happen and is occurring.
Say it.
I'm here to remind us that
Say it.
there was a shot that was heard around the world on April 4th, 1968. Here to remind us that 7 days later,
Come on,
there
preacher.
was a Civil Rights Act that was signed banning discrimination on the sale and the rental and the financing of housing. I'm here to tell you that the dream lives on.
Come on, preacher.
Here to remind you that the dream was manifested in 1972 when Shirley Chisholm became the first African-American woman to run for the Democratic presidential nomination.
Come on, preacher. Come on,
Here to
preacher.
remind you that the dream was manifested in 1977 when Andrew Young served as
Yes.
ambassador to the United States as the first African American to serve in this capacity.
All right.
I'm here to remind you that the dream lived on and was manifested in 1986
All right.
when the dream was recognized that this person that had given and yielded his life
Well,
was recognized as a national holiday.
yes, sir.
I'm here to remind you
Yes, sir.
and to understand, let you know that in 1990, the dream was manifested by Douglas Wilder, who
right.
became the first elected governor of Richmond, Virginia. I'm here to remind you
Yes.
that in 1992, the dream was manifested in Carol Moseley Brougham because that was the first African-American woman to be elected to the United
Yes.
States Senate.
Yes,
The dream
yes,
lives on.
yes, yes.
I'm here to remind you that there was a collection of 1 million women
All right.
that went to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania
All right.
to march and that the dream must live on.
Live on.
Here to remind you that at the turn of the century, there was a dream that was manifested when the person of Colin Powell
All right.
became the first African-American Secretary of the United States
Say it.
of America.
Say it.
I'm here to tell you
Keep
the
telling.
dream lives on.
Keep telling.
Here to tell you that the dream was manifested in 2008
What
when
happened?
the United States
Yes, sir.
Congress apologized for slavery and Jim Crow
Yes, sir.
laws on the
Keep
books.
telling.
America made an apology.
Keep telling the story.
Here to tell you
One more.
that the dream lives on.
Yes, sir.
In 2008, when Mr. Barack
Yes, sir.
Obama became president of these United States, the dream lives on.
Yes, sir. Keep telling.
Here to tell you that the dream was manifested a second term
Say it.
when the people collectively came together and put it back in the White House. Thank God that we're in the house and have a seat at the table because we have a dream
Tell the
that
story.
lives on.
Tell the
It was
story.
Luke that says that the words of Jesus is that fear not, little flock, for it's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom.
Say it. Say it.
The dream that could not be sabotaged, the dream that's yet alive, because the word says, greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. The dream lives on.
Come on, preacher.
William Cullen Bryant that said, truth crushed against the earth shall rise again. The dream lives
Come
on.
on, preacher.
It was Jonathan Swift that said, don't push your problem, but be led by your dream.
Yes, sir.
We need a people that want to be and is capable of being drum majors.
All right.
Is there anybody here that will join me and walk with Dr. King and be a drum major for justice?
All right.
Be a drum major for peace. Be a drum major for righteousness.
Well,
Here, because we need to stand up. Let us not self-destruct.
it's all right, my
Let
brother.
us not push dope in our veins. Let us not self-destruct.
Come on, preacher.
Let us not drop out of school. Let us not self-destruct. Let us not fail to achieve academic excellence. Let us not self-destruct.
Come on, preacher.
Let us not foster crime in our community, in Greene County. Let us not self-destruct.
Yes, sir.
By giving in,
Yes, sir.
we will never give up.
All right.
We need to stand up for justice.
Yes, sir.
Stand up for righteousness.
Say it.
Stand up for our children.
Say it.
Stand up for those that are too weak to stand up for
Say
themselves.
it. Say it.
We need to stand up for all mankind.
Come on, preacher.
We need to stand up until the valley is exalted and the mountains is pulled out.
Yes.
Until the crooked places are made straight
Say
and the rough places are
Say it,
plain.
preacher.
We need to stand up until God says, well done. How good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. Come on up to the ruler. We need to stand up because the thing that could not, will not, shall not be. Stand up. Stand up.
Reverend Crew, we mean you no disrespect. When we make the observation that I believe that fella got a little Baptist in him. Outstanding. For our work has been sufficiently articulated by the message. What then will we do on this day on and not Monday's day off? Remarks and an expression of appreciation from School Board Member Deborah.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I got to get myself together. I thought I was at some call back. First and third spot. Nothing wrong with Philly.
Tell it.
It's even greater to be over this.
Say it. Say it.
This has been a great day.
Yes.
It has been a great day.
Mm-hmm.
I must say, God has smiled on me.
My Lord. All right. All right.
You can only be the best charity
Mm-hmm.
if you have the best committee.
All right.
At this time, I like for the best committee members.
Yes.
The Martin Luther King Breakfast Committee, would you please stand?
Oh, yes.
I must say, they have been the best committee. Doing the program, getting the events together.
Mm-hmm.
It calls for commitment and hard work.
Yes.
And they was there with me. And I thank them for the opportunity to serve as that third person for
Yes.
this 13th annual Martin Luther King Jr. Women's Breakfast.
Yes.
What a great success.
What a day. What a day.
I tell you, as you got to,
All right.
there was things that need to be said.
Yes. Yes.
Because there's so much happening in this world today.
Right here.
And it's happening here in Green.
Say it.
But if we lean not on our own understanding, we can work through it. And we can become and be the best county of the 159 counties that
All
we
right.
have. in
All
the
right.
state of
All
Georgia.
right, all right.
And I believe we will,
Yes, we will.
because we have the leadership here in Greene County that can get this done.
Uh-huh.
And with saying that, I have some people that I would like to recognize and thank them for attending this breakfast. Starting with Mr. Ed Bull,
Amen.
the great chairman of Greene County.
All right.
Dr. Barbara Williams.
All right.
Amen.
Superintendent of the school. And my newly appointed board member, Mr. Dennis Mitchell.
All right.
We have others elected and appointed officials present with us today from around the county. Will you please stand?
Amen.
We like to have, like the people that know who to come to for their different, order to have this, program, we have to have money.
Well,
Some people give it early, some people give it before the deadline,
all right,
some people come in after.
all
So
right.
we like to recognize, Novelis, Dave Davis, the general manager.
Yes.
They gave us our contribution to help sponsor this program.
All right.
I would like to recognize Mr. Montez Carter.
Amen.
He is the president of the Good Samaritan Hospital and
Yes.
the vice president of St. Mary's
All
Hospital.
right.
Will you please stand?
Yes.
We also have Mr. Joe Garner, who is the chair
Yes.
of the Good Samaritan
All right.
Board. And we want to thank Labor County Doc 103.9 for recording this program. This is the first time we ever had it to happen. You didn't know that? This program will be aired on Doc 103.9
Uh-huh.
Tuesday afternoon at 7:00 p.m. So turn on the radio. I want to thank all of you for coming out today to make this program a success. And when I say a success, this program was awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. And I really want to thank all the participants. You did a great job, a great job. I want all the kids, all the students that participate to please stand. You all did a good job, and you all look very, very good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Reverend Johnson,
Yes.
you said Ivy would be the next senator,
Uh-huh.
but you didn't tell us that Bradley was going to be the next engineer.
All right.
Well, you asked Bradley, did he need a letter of recommendation to the University of Georgia? I told Reverend Cruz, no, he needed a recommendation to Georgia Tech, that's what he needed. So, I am just proud, I am just happy, I am overjoyed, and I hope I didn't miss anyone.